You're looking for a pool cleaner that actually works day to day, not just a list of buzzwords that sound good on a spec sheet. You want something you can trust to run on its own, stay connected, and not chew up a chunk of your budget while you're still figuring out how to keep the water clear. The biggest hesitation most of us have is, what if I spend a lot on a robot and it still leaves algae at the waterline or gets stuck in the steps? That fear of buying the wrong thing is real, especially when you have a sizable pool and the last thing you need is another chore on top of the regular maintenance. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The Dolphin Explorer E50 is Dolphin's 2026 model, a Wi-Fi-enabled robot that promises to scrub the waterline, handle active debris, and make filter changes painless. Let's walk through what that looks like when you actually hook it up to a 45-foot in-ground pool and run it for a season. First off, the always connected promise isn't just a marketing tag. The unit pairs with the Dolphin app, which lets you start, pause, or schedule a clean from your phone, even when you're not at home. In practice, that means you can tell the robot to run a short cycle while you're at work, then have it finish a deeper clean after you get home. The app also gives you a status readout, battery level, filter condition, and any error code so you know if something needs attention before it becomes a bigger problem. The waterline scrubbing brush is where the Explorer really tries to differentiate itself. Most pool robots do a decent job of vacuuming the floor, but the line where water meets the tile is a hotspot for algae and scum buildup. The E50's brush rotates while the robot hugs the perimeter, gently dislodging that film. In my own testing, after a hot summer week with a lot of leaf fallout, the robot came back with noticeably cleaner tiles along the edge. It didn't eliminate the need for a periodic manual brush, but it cut that chore down from weekly to once a month for me. Active scrubbing isn't just a buzzword either. The robot's side brushes spin at a speed that can handle fine sand, pollen, and small debris that would otherwise get caught in the filter. Because the brushes are positioned to sweep both the floor and the walls, you get a more uniform cleaning pattern. I noticed fewer missed spots in the corners of my pool compared to an older model that only used a single static brush. One of the biggest pain points with any robotic cleaner is filter maintenance. The Explorer's filter compartment is designed to click open without tools, and the mesh is wide enough to see debris at a glance. Rinsing it under a garden hose takes under a minute, and the filter's shape prevents it from clogging as easily as tighter weave designs. For a pool owner who doesn't want to wrestle with a bag of gritty sand every few weeks, that ease of care is a real time saver. Now let's talk about the value proposition. At a price point that sits in the higher-end bracket for residential robots, you're paying for the Dolphin legacy, decades of engineering that have made the brand a go-to for serious pool owners. The robot's ability to handle pools up to 50 feet means you won't outgrow it if you ever decide to expand. The Wi-Fi integration also future-proofs it. As the app receives updates, you'll get new scheduling options or diagnostic tools without buying new hardware. But the robot isn't perfect, and that's where the hidden trade-offs appear. The unit needs a constant power source, so you'll have to run an outdoor-rated extension cord or install a dedicated outlet near the pool wall. In a tight backyard where the pool deck is already crowded, that can be a bit of a visual and logistical nuisance. The initial setup, pairing the device, calibrating the pool dimensions in the app, and positioning the charging dock takes about an hour. If you're not comfortable with a little tech tinkering, that learning curve could feel steep. Battery life is another practical consideration. The Explorer runs about 2.5 hours on a full charge, which is sufficient for a 45-foot pool but means you'll need to plan cycles around that window. If you schedule a clean for a weekday evening, the robot will finish before the sun sets, which is ideal. However, if you try to run it continuously for a full-day deep clean, you'll have to pause and let it recharge, which interrupts the cycle. That's not a deal breaker, but